Hi guys, it's Friday, March 3rd. I'm over here at the Ron Coleman Crystal Mine again. Ron Coleman Crystal Mine is probably one of my favorite mines down here in the Mount Ida area. They give you a bag for all your treasures that you find, which is great. And you can find some really nice and some big things here. I always come away from here with more than my cost of my admission. One thing I found out today about the Ron Coleman mine is that they have a little punch card. So you get that punch, or signed, and your 6th dig here is free. And then you pay for a 7th, and then your 8th dig will be free also. It's raining right now, so I'm going to be doing a lot of surface searching here for this first hour or two. It rained all night last night, for about the last day and a half actually. So I'll probably just walk around and do a lot of surface searching, and I won't have my camera out too much just because it's raining and I don't want to get it all wet. I'll get back with you here in a little bit and show you what I found, and hopefully it'll dry up some so I can do some filming of actually digging around in the mine area. All right, let's get going. I've been getting quite a few surface finds. These two were sitting right next to each other. It's got a little bit of damage. You see right there above my finger, that's where it was connected to another crystal and it separated off. I've been finding quite a few surface finds actually. I got a lot of clusters and stuff. It's cleared up some now, but it's awful windy, and so you're going to have a lot of wind noise, so I apologize about that. All right, let me know when you see it. There we go. I saw the face shining at me. Hopefully it'll be a decent point. It's got some milky to it, but it's still really nice. I see there's some damage on this, but it looks like that's a point. Let's see what it's going to look like. It's got some damage on it also. Just saw this glimmering at me right here above my finger. Alright, we'll try this, see if this is anything. Set those down. Right on the surface. Here's what that piece looks like all cleaned up. It has a little bit more damage on it than what I originally thought when it was covered in all the dirt. Alright, so I was walking over this hill, and as I was walking over, a little shine from this face caught my eye. So it turns out that crystal has some beautiful rainbows inside of it. The quartz crystals with the rainbows in them are some of my favorites. So I'm right over this edge, just kind of looking around down here. And here's a point. It's a little broken, a little milky, but it's a point. I'll take it. All right, here we go. Looks like there's a couple little points in there, like maybe 3. Here's a little better look at that crystal all cleaned up. So part of the waiver that you sign is that you're not going to hammer or chisel any of the rocks there in the field. Sometimes the rock has a lot of sandstone with just a little bit of a quartz plate there on the top. So what I'll do is take something like this home, cut off or even break off the bottom part of it to get rid of all that extra rock, and then I'll just have that little quartz plate there at the top. Sometimes if there's an excess of broken quartz, I'll cut that off too with my wet saw. See, this is milky right here on the end, and it looks a little bit darker and clear right there. I can't see anything on there. The milky part is where it was connected to a plate and broke off. And so I'm hoping that this is a full point. All right. Small, but it's a point. It's a pretty one. Okay, here's another one. It's cloudy on the top. That's where it was connected to the seam, to the vein, and it broke off at some point. Hopefully the point is intact. Maybe I should squat back down so I get out of the wind noise a little bit. It looks really nice. That could be a good jewelry point right there. Okay, so you'll see there's all kinds of quartz laying around here, all these little broken chips and stuff. And sometimes you find a point. So again, what we're looking for is that shiny black glass. Here's a look at that crystal all cleaned up. So I don't know what this is, if it's going to be any good, if it's a point or what, but I just see the kind of shiny reflective right here buried in the mud. So let's take a look at it, loosen up the ground around it. Hopefully it's a point. Woohoo! It is a point. All right. Yeah, it was one of these, I think it was this side right here that was shining up. Did you see how dark it was in the clay? And now it just looks like a milky white. Alright, so I don't know if this is going to be anything, but I just saw this white and then darker right there, which means it's going to have some clarity. Hopefully it's a point. It's a broken piece. Still pretty cool. So there's two things I want to check out. This right here and this right here. This is probably just, yeah, just a broken piece. This has got a flat side on it, so I'm hoping that there's a point on there. Well, I think it's just a broken piece of crystal. Still, curiosity has the best of me. I want to clean it up anyhow and see what it looks like just for fun. Sorry about the wind noise. Here's a quickie panorama. Ron Coleman Crystal Mine. Beautiful location. Well, it's about close to 1 o'clock, and it's been kind of raining off and on. So I've just been pretty much surface searching all day. Haven't really dug anything. So everything that you're going to see at the beginning is just stuff that I found laying right on the surface. So pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go dig a little bit and see how we do. Sorry about the wind noise. I just started doing some digging, and this rock was in there. I flipped it up with my pick, and then what popped out was this right here. Beautiful point. So I rolled a big rock down from right here. It's been about 30 seconds since that last little clip. I rolled a rock down, and after I moved the rock, this point was directly underneath it. Here's what that crystal looks like all cleaned up. I didn't know it at the time, but it has a little sidecar there on the side. I'm digging in a spot where there seems to be a lot of shale. It's really pretty. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. Here's the piece that it broke off of. One thing I love about Arkansas are all the pine trees. It's not even spring yet. Look how green it is. Sometimes you just gotta manhandle these things. All right, it's about 4:15. I gotta head out of here. I didn't do a lot of videotaping today. I did do some of just mainly surface finds. When I dug, I didn't find a whole lot when I was digging. Turns out they haven't dumped in a while, and what they did, I guess about a week or so ago, is they turned everything over. And so I guess the pit area is flooded right now because of all the rain. But still, with all the surface stuff, I found quite a bit of finds. So I had a lot of fun. So let's go home and get these things cleaned up and see how they turned out. So this is one of my clusters from Ron Coleman. As you can see, there's a whole lot of points all through here. Going up, looks like a kind of a rough spot right there, but a nice point there. And all through here should have some plenty of pretty crystal points all through there. But the rock itself is really, really large. So what I've got to do, I'm going to try to separate this plate if I can, so it's not so huge. So another life lesson I feel like I have to keep learning over and over again is I can make all the plans I want, but it doesn't mean that that's what's actually going to happen. So I've got several different plates now instead of one bigger one. That's okay. So from where this black line is and on over are most of my clusters that I got from Ron Coleman. And I think the one that I'm most excited about is this one right here. See all those points along the side? And I'm going to assume that this whole top is just covered in points based on all of that. So here's that crystal cluster all cleaned up. There's still a little bit of clay in between some of the cracks of the crystals, but for the most part, it's pretty clean. Most of the clusters that I got from Ron Coleman have all been pretty small, with all the points on them for the most part. Once we get it all cleaned up, it should be very, very pretty. So my biggest surprise of the day was this dark blue phantom cluster. I honestly had no idea that it was a phantom. I picked it up right off the surface and it was covered with dirt. I just love all the multiple layers that you see within it. I do have a few more finds that are smoky, but so far I haven't found any more with a phantom. I'm not sure what all the coatings and growth is that's on this cluster, but I think it has a lot of character and I like it a lot. Love that yellow staining right there. This small cluster was another pleasant surprise. It is just covered with points upon points on both front and the back. This cluster and the next couple clusters all came from that one rock that I tried to split off into one plate. But, you know, wound up breaking up into like 10 different pieces. I just love the clarity on this little freestanding piece. This was one of my first finds when I got there to the Ron Coleman mine. It was still raining when I first got there to the mine, so this is one of the pieces that I didn't film being found. Crystals that have all the little baby quartz crystals attachments on them are some of my favorites. I just love this little cluster and how unusual it is. This piece still has some clay on it and needs to be cleaned a little bit more, and even though some of the crystal has milky in it, I think it's a really cool piece. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. God bless. If you guys want to hang out another minute, here's a few extra bonus pieces from my trip.